All right, so I'm going to continue again with part 2 of the video that I did earlier. This will be my 5th video. I guess next time I'll make sure I have more battery charge before I begin. But I was working with Star Toys tracks here, and I was basically showing you some of the finer details. And I'm going to compare this one to the Takara one, naturally. This one has a fake chest because the actual car roof is in the back, is inside of the torso. But I'm fine with that, you know, for the sake of tune accuracy. In that way, I could actually have the Takara version with the official, you know, Corvette logo on the front in front of this one for a display, which is what I plan to do. But all in all, let's say Star Toys did a great job. I love what they did with this. They even have they even got the missile size right. That was another gripe I had with Takara. Takaras, they were like tiny, so they could fit inside the vehicle. But these actually like break down, and you can make them smaller and whatnot. You know, for hiding in vehicle mode is one of the best parts of it. But again, I love this. They did a even better job with the face sculpt because of 3 different faces, including the alien face for the Alien Hoist Goes Hollywood episode, where he was supposedly alien from another planet making movies or whatnot. But I'm not going to put that on right now. So I'm going to move on. Next is the Wolverine in the classic Storm. This is one of my favorite Storm costumes. I think the only show that had her in this costume was the Pride of the X-Men cartoon. It was a one-shot back in like 1988, maybe. And it was a one-shot that was never, they didn't pick it up for production. I don't know why. It was a fantastic cartoon. And it had, Wolverine had his famous or infamous Australian accent for that. Almost kind of like precursor to Hugh Jackman actually getting the Wolverine role. But that was one of my favorite Storm outfits. All right. And this one, I guess it's like a little metal puzzle, or not really a puzzle. It's like you put it together. It's entirely of metal. This package is pretty heavy for a flat packet. But when you take the pieces and you off of there, bend them, fold them together, etc., etc., when you put them together, it forms the endoskeleton, the T800. Yeah, the T800 endoskeleton. So I'm gonna probably do this one maybe a little bit later and sooner. The one I want to do next is what I'm going to show you. But this is pretty nice. This was only like, it was like $10, I think. Maybe even less than that. And I think that is the size of the actual kit once you're finished with it. But that's going to be something for another day. Here we go. Here's a classic Frankenstein's monster. This was at Ross. It was only $20. Original price was $35, I believe. And it is I'm not a monster collector myself. My friend, he is. And I was in Ross and I saw that they had Frankenstein, they had the werewolf, they had E.T., they had a couple of other ones, and I asked if he wanted one of them. I sent him a text message or whatever, and called him on the phone, and he said this is one of the ones he'd been looking for. So I said, okay, sure, why not? You know, it was only $20, so I went ahead and picked it out. I sent him, what was it? Quint from Jaws, which then inspired me to rewatched Jaws after all these years and remember how good it was. But NECA does really good work. Only problem is with them, the only issue I have with them sometimes is their joints can be a little stiff, but that's nothing that a little heat can't fix. But it's overall it's good for balance because these once you stand them up, they don't, they're not going anywhere. They're not going to fall over. The joints aren't going to wear out. So that's a good thing. But this is it looked really nice. So I figured pick one up and business arrangement. But I like the box and everything in the window. I was tempted to get the ET on the bike though. I didn't get him. So I've got enough stuff going on. This is okay. I'm gonna have to really back the camera up for this one, but let's see what happens. I was in. There we go. Okay, I guess that'll work for now. I was in Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby always has these on sale. This is the RX 78.2-2 Gundam. This is like the OG from back in the 1978 or something like that. And I do not have a Gundam in my collection, surprisingly. So I figured I would finally get one. And they sell these guys, well, they're on a sale for like 40% off. So $65 became like 35 or whatever, something like that, whatever. $70 became, I can't even remember, $35, whatever. About $45 or something like that. But it was a good steal. And it was about yay high when it's finished. So I'm going to have fun putting this one together. Again, I don't have any Gundams in my collection. The one I really do want is a Tall Geese. But the Tall Geese is hard to find. Well, it's not really hard to find. It's just more like it costs a good bit of money. So if I do get one, which, well, I'll say I will get one, it's going to cost me a little bit, but I'm going to put this together first and see how everything works before I commit to purchasing a more expensive unit, so to speak. But I can't wait to put it together. I'm going to see how it works and find a spot for them on my shelves. I'm going to have to start making a spot. But oh yeah, I forgot about this one. This is the Gamerverse Wolverine. And this came with the Silver Samurai that I showed earlier. But this is the Gamerverse Wolverine. This is for the Marvel versus Capcom versus series collection. I had Shumagorath, what they called him, Gargantos. But he was a little big. He was a little bigger than I anticipated. And I have the display cases, but I didn't have room for him in the display I had. I couldn't figure out how I was gonna get him in there. So I sold him to someone who actually wanted it. And he paid me cash money and everything for it. So I went ahead and let somebody who's actually going to use it, get it instead of having it just sit in the box for ages, whenever I decide to pull it out of the box, just to see or tinker with for a little bit. But I figured it'd be better, if someone really wanted to have it for their display, I had no problem, letting them have it. It's not a big deal. Like I say, it was a great figure, but just way too big. Anyway, I'm talking more about Shumagorath than I am Wolverine. But yeah, he looks like the game. He has the claws are like pretty long. They're usually about a foot long. I guess they stick out from the back of his hand. But for the game purposes, when he pops them, they're like really long. You know how the animated cartoon effect, stretching and stuff like that. There's the Silver Samurai's, his star, his electrical effect, and in the back you can see Wolverine has the two, like the slash claws in the back. So I'm gonna see how that looks. I may take it out of there, but for the time being, I'm gonna leave him in there until I can get around get around to him. I've got, as you can see, I've got plenty of stuff to mess with in the meantime. I'm gonna grab another item here. Yep. Took a little bit longer than I thought. Okay. This is Peacemaker. This is the figure my friend got for me. He comes with a John Cena head too. I need to dig that out of there, but that may take too long. I've already took long enough getting them. But he comes with Eagly as well. Love the sculpt. And he comes with 3 different helmets. There we go. He comes with 3 different helmets. Three completely different designs. You can put in whatever one you want. But looks fantastic. And his head, he looks exactly like John Cena face sculpt. Of course, with the likeness and everything. But this one came out really well. This is one of my favorites. And again, this was a gift from my friend. And this is probably like, just because of that, it's one of my favorite pieces ever that I'm going to hang on to. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of this guy. But I love the series, and he did a really good job. But it's a McFarlane toy, so you know what to expect. It's going to look like it's supposed to. It's going to be posable. May have a few limitations, it's a little bit stiff, but it'll loosen up a little bit. And it's pretty durable. And I really like it. But I think that's all I have for today. I'm going to show some other stuff another time. And I just wanted to finish up with part 2 of this video. I said I was going to get to it, and I want to do what I say I was going to do. But thanks to everyone who helped me get the things I've been looking for. Again, that Max Shrek was a pain in the butt. It's still a bit of a pisser. And I'm a little annoyed by that. You know what I mean? Especially when you look forward to something for God knows how long. And, people are going to be human. It is what it is. But anyway, thanks for watching. Until the next one.